Hello. Very strange. Hello. Very strange. Um, it's always strange. How this ever works is just incredible to me. It's quite magical, actually. Very magical. Let's see. Um, all right. Um, all right. Pharma. Um, Pharma advertising dollars, folks. What do you think about those? I need a sponsor, actually. It's time to pay some bills, folks. So if you got some people, you got some. Always strange, if you got some people to is just incredible. Let's get rid of that. Rich Hilton, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Rich, I should be on the road. I'm not on the beach. That would be cool. But I just had a tour canceled. Well, I got to use the proper legal term. Postponed. I had a tour. It's like saying alleged. OJ allegedly. But I was on a tour called Celebrating David Bowie, which is very connected to you. Wonderful tour. You've probably seen it flashing by. And I've done it maybe 2 or 3 times. The first one was fantastic. Mike Garson and Jerry Leonard and Adrian Belew. And we had Joe Sumner, right? Sting's son, Joe Sumner, was on that. And Angelo Moore from Fishbone. A lot of fun. And a bunch of other amazing players. But then we did another one with Todd Rundgren and Davey Farraher, from the great bass player from Cracker, and Elvis Costello Band. So it's a lot of fun. Every year it's different. This year was, again, Adrian Belew with Peter Murphy of Bauhaus. And it just got postponed like last week. And so that's a bummer because it's too close to the start date to really get anything else. But, it happens. And I'll say this, and you understand this, and anyone else that's a touring professional knows, we kind of have a saying, or even just a thought, because sometimes you don't want to say that loud, but we have a saying where no tour is on. 2 things happen before you can say, okay, this tour is on. It's kind of half humorously, but first thing is the tour's not on till 8:02 on the first night, and the music's playing, right? Because anything can happen, and I've had that happen. The other thing is, till that first paycheck, till that first bank transfer happens, because I've been in that situation too. You're pulled aside. Hey, look, here's what's happening. And I want you to not worry about it. As soon as you hear all that, it's like, so we've had a little problem, but usually it's fine though. That's but like anything, a little rain must fall. But yeah, while I'm riffing and warming up here, the next thing you know, you're an investor. Yeah. Look, we thought kind of a really good option here is if you want to come on board on this, there's a lot of growth possibilities. Here's what we need to do. Let's take your next 4 weeks. But no, one time, again, since I'm just warming up a little bit, audio good, but a tad more volume. Okay, this is it's a little sound check period. And let's see, my mind goes back to March of 2010. It's the Emerson Lake Tour. Keith Emerson, Greg Lake. And we do these rehearsals. Everything's going great. My first time working for Greg Lake. which I ended up doing till the end of his life, till he left our planet, sadly. But rehearsals are good. We get to the first gig. Everything's set up, this incredible stage with like a simulated studio with this giant wall that we would put up, and beautiful glass, glass window like you're looking into a rehearsal studio, red record light. It was a great concept. And it was just the two of them. The shtick was they're in the studio and working on some old songs, and hit play on that, would you, Keith, the engineer, and the drum machine starts, and they do some songs. So we're there. We're all set up. First big night of this long tour. Everything's cool. 7:45, 7:50. People are coming in since 7 o'clock. Everything's cool. 7:56. I see the tour manager on the other side. Go talk to someone. That's odd, because you don't see the tour manager that close to the show. They're at the room getting the artists, right? Okay, that's cool. And then I see the tour manager walk to the next tech, Keith's tech, and say a few words, and I see the guy nod. And then you're going, what's up? Goes to the third person. Gets to me. Hey, Andre, so very unfortunately, we are canceling tonight's show and the next couple of shows. And, we're just going to... It was April 1st. It was April 1st, 2010. So I go, very good, very good. Nice one. No, I'm for real on this, bro. It's a... That's nice, man. April 1st. All these people here. Good one. Dude, this is for real. Really? Okay. So then the what's the word? Not the maitre d', the announcer of the venue. That poor announcer has to go out, and the packed crowd, he comes out. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get right to this. Unfortunately, tonight, due to unforeseen circumstances, this show will not be taking place. There's probably 40 people. April Fools! Pretty good one, bro. Big, right? What are you going to say on April 1st? So, but it was, the tour started up about 4 days later. It was amazing. And I suggest to any fan of Emerson or Lake or Emerson, Lake and Palmer, check it out. Go punch in 2010 Emerson Lake, because it was very unique. They only did that once, just the two of them, and we called it Carl in a Box. We had a drum machine sequencer, I think Muse Receptor. Some of you might remember that. But it was a great tour. They actually, the old boys did it great, and we had the big Keith Emerson modular there and stuff. The whole point of this lengthy story, folks, is you don't know till it's 8:02. Till it's 8:02. But really, go look for some stuff. Keith was, of course, going through stuff with his hands, but he played his ass off. Especially, he would take a solo moment. We would bring a little Korg piano. I forget the number on it, but the little one with the tube in it that just does like 6 sounds. And he would play this beautiful kind of solo thing every night. So if you're fans, a lot of people missed that tour, but you see some of the last performances, and they went deep. We did Pirates, we did a bunch of Tarkus. The end of it, so he does the big duck quack solo. Good memories. This is all coming back because I was just talking about this tour the other day. So, hello, folks. Meatless Monday Meetup. And I've got some guests today. They were on for last week and unfortunately got into a little car accident and stuff was a little crazy for them. But good to see you all here. We always start out with, what did you eat today? Because the theme of this show, the goal of this show is, take one day off. It's low stress. You don't have to be a hardcore macrobiotic, organic only. What was the joke on The Simpsons? I don't eat anything that had a shadow. I don't know why the English accent, but you don't have to do that. If you do, you're welcome. But if you're somebody who says, you know what, we get organic lamb from this farm market, or we have our own eggs, or kind of, we're here to talk about, all the plant-based, vegetarian, vegan options that are out there, the history of it, recipes, different things. But everyone's welcome. That's the thing. Pescatarian, flexitarian, part-timeitarian. There's all these different names now. Yeah, just here to celebrate that. But the underlying thing that I was trying to bring up is eat more locally, eat more simple foods, figure out how to cook just a handful of your favorite dishes. You'll save money. It almost always tastes better. It's almost always better to make it fresh. And supporting local is part of that big picture of things we could do environmentally, right? Like the less we're eating blueberries from Peru or whatever, stuff from even stuff from California when it could grow in your own state. So these are some of the things. Let's see if you got any comments. Also, tell me what you had for lunch today. I did not have much. I had a shake. I've been enjoying these shakes. I meant to bring the little can today, but been getting back into some shakes. 20 grams of protein, plant-based shake that I got from Whole Foods. I can't remember if it's their brand. No, it wasn't, but just doing that with some frozen fruit, some bananas, berries, and water, spring water. Today, for the first day, I did it with soy milk. I did it with soy milk, and it's funny because I'm in the aisle. Whole Foods is a complicated thing, isn't it, folks? Amazon bought it. They have all this shit now where you're shopping and they scan and you're Amazon and then stuff, you get emails. Wow. So I hardly go to Whole Foods really by choice because we have a lot of other natural food stores where we live. And the supermarket chain, Ingles, wow, there's hard-pressed to think of any special ingredient or organic thing or vegetarian or special diet thing that they don't have. They have all the Bob's Red Mill kind of grains and stuff like that, and non-grains and different seeds and powdered amaranth flour. I mean, right? In the supermarket, amaranth flour? I'm old enough, and I've worked in natural food stores enough, starting in 1989, 1990. I remember you had to special order something like amaranth flour. So our supermarkets are at that level here in Asheville and a lot of natural food stores. While we have a couple Whole Foods branches, I'm not militant about it. I'll go once in a while, but only if I'm right there or there's some specific thing. So I was in Knoxville, which I'm going to talk about a little bit today. I was at the Big Ears Festival, incredible festival. And on the drive back, let's get some dinner. So I go to Whole Foods, and it's always just, there's stuff to roll your eyes about. Just the way they do things and the kind of, again, not going to bore everyone with my Whole Foods thing, but what comes to mind, and the point there is, it's that yin yang of supporting a corporation like that, and all the annoying things about Amazon and Bezos and whatnot, and the overpriced stuff. They do tend to put that Gwyneth Paltrow kind of fanciness on some things and charge way more. And I don't mind the prices going up if it's going to the employees. And I ask them every time when I'm checking out, and I want to invite you to do that. When you're at Whole Foods, as you're checking out, say, "So hi, how are you? Thanks to what's your name? Hi, you having a good day? Hey, does Whole Foods pay a living wage here in this state where we are, whatever the number is? Do they pay $20 an hour? They say no. What's interesting is yesterday, this young lady said, I said, "Do they pay a living wage here?" I do it all the time, And she says, I never heard this answer. She says, Whole Foods salary is quite competitive to comparable local businesses. Wow, PR department, okay. And I said, wow, okay. And I said, that doesn't really answer my question. Are you getting a living wage? Because I'd like you to. Look at these almonds, $8.99. It was a pretty good bag of almonds, but still. And she said, Whole Foods salaries are. It was a similar sentence. I was like, wow. And I said, wow, they're making you say that now, huh? Okay. I said, that's my one complaint here. You wish you all were making, proportionately what the prices go up. But But just some thoughts there that are part of what this whole show is about, which is if you've got local markets, and that's been an explosion the last 30 years, right? I mean, New York City, there's garden markets, right? Milwaukee, there's garden markets. And certainly most of rural America, there's always little farm stands, local markets, some more than others. And I talk to people all the time, and I've talked to people who say, you know, we've never went. We see it all the time. Go on down. Because you'll meet some farmers, right? You'll meet some people who grew those beets, those tomatoes, those potatoes, those leafy greens. You'll meet people who bake that bread, and maybe it might be local flour. I mean, you learn a lot. You know, oh, these pickles, wow, you made them. And yeah, sometimes it's Whole Foods prices are close to it, but you're handing that $10 to the person. I love that. Sometimes there's dirt on their overalls, and they got the stuff that morning, right? So always urging people to do that. And locally, as we go to that season here in Asheville, where we are, it's about to be farm market season, which is 5 days a week. I think we can get to a farm market around here. So so just some spring stuff to talk about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Big Ears later on, which I went to. Big festival in Knoxville. I'm also going to talk about, we're going to have these guests, which I'm going to start setting up for them in a few minutes. And then talk about, I'm not religious at all, but there is big religious holiday, Pesach, Passover coming, and with Jewish people in my family, I participate in Hanukkah, Passover, various things, especially for the food. But that's always an issue because there's all kinds of dead animals in a Passover setting, but that doesn't have to be. And even in the religious texts, you have some options to do this or do that. But we're going to talk about that. I'm just going to share some suggestions from Veg News, which I love looking at for news. I'm jumping over to YouTube. Wes Darling, how are you, my friend? Finally catching up with Meatless. Thank you for checking it out. What'd you have for lunch? Wow. A crisp, cold Granny Smith with almond butter. Wow, that's great. And you've been, you've been earthing, as in going out with bare feet and standing in the earth. Is that what you mean by that? Yeah, it's great. I almost did it this morning, taking my dog out, but it was like 45 degrees. I was like, that's when you're supposed to do it. Okay, so you got protein shake, and you're going to do some liver detox. That's great. A couple hard to find compounds. Okay. Yeah, you could put brands here. I've got no, until I get a sponsor, it doesn't really matter. But cool. A couple people watching on YouTube, which is always cool. And West, yeah, quite competitive. I said that. This young lady said, we have some of the best pay, in this city or whatever. And I said, oh man, that's depressing. But that's best pay compared to average American pay, right? We still got, what's the federal minimum? I'm not going to get too far down this rabbit hole, but is it $8 even? It's, I don't know, $7.13 or some annoying prime number. So yeah, what can we do about that? Because, we should be like the French and strike. That's the only thing that works. Buy nothing for 5 days. Stay the fuck home. Actual striking works. Just did in Chile not long ago. The French are always doing it. Other countries are always doing it. It's just not in us culturally. So, but we got to find solutions. So you're grounding in the snow, okay? All right. All right. Well, let's jump back. I don't have multiple screens. So Rich, you're a former Italian. That's a great. I like that, a former Italian. That's very cool, and that's great because What that means is if there's some vegetarian stuff on catering and it looks good, you'll have it, right? You're not going to cop that attitude that some people do. I love it. Let's see. I think I got all of your comments here. Yeah, okay. Now Carl hits play or plays hits. That's very funny. And we would joke around that the Muse Receptor has the little variable speed switch, so you can really imitate Carl. No, I kid because I love him. Carl's fine. I've worked with him so many times because Asia. I'm sorry, Carl Palmer Band and Asia. Sometimes both has opened up for Yes a bunch of times. So worked with Carl a lot, especially we did the final ELP gig. And he's great. Kudos to Carl. He really keeps working at it, and he will get in the van and play, small clubs and just keep playing. He doesn't. He could sit on the beach. He could sit on this beach that I'm not on. I learned to cook when I was poor and vegetarian. I hear you, right? Because I've addressed this on the show a bunch of times that it's not necessarily the diet of affluence. Again, not to keep bringing her up, but the Gwyneth Paltrow kind of approach of these, these incredibly expensive things with just basic ingredients. There is a thing there. So we've got these guests coming on shortly. They are from the Vegan Yaad. The Vegan Yaad, man. Hence, pick some coconuts here. Hence my little green screen operation. Oh, I need a beach. I haven't been working too hard. Haven't been on a beach like this in, I couldn't tell you. The word decade comes to mind. But maybe even like 15 years. Love going to Jamaica. I lived in Trinidad briefly with my dad. Been in Jamaica many times. But we're going to talk about Jamaica today. There's a Jamaican chef. His partner's from Haiti. And what they do is present vegan, plant-based food at a they do these pop-ups, and they also do their own spot at the Yellow Green Farmers Market in Fort Lauderdale. And here's their Insta. I'll put that link on, and we're going to spend time looking at it up, put their website and stuff. But the Vegan Yaad, which is the Yaad is for yard, and yard is is where we live, right? That's your yard, right? Caribbean slang and slang in general, whatever country, whatever language, Vietnamese slang, I would venture is very basic and direct, right? Most slang is like, let's get right to the point. You live in your yard. So in Jamaica, when it's local, it's yard, and when it's from overseas, it's foreign, as in foreign, right? He went to foreign. Where he gone? He went to foreign. Okay, impressive. Just go right to the. So your yard is where you are. So this is the vegan yard, right? Keeping it local, keeping it vegan. Look at some of this food, folks. I mean, come on. Plantain chips, plantain chips, beans and rice, which is a basic of many, many cultures, many, many islands. The sweet plantains, plantains. What's cool, and we're going to ask Kirk about this, is the hybrid nature of some of their stuff. You can see on the right there's some tacos. They got these jerk vegetable tacos. They do some wrap-ups. They do the corn elotes. So they have this, it's Caribbean. So they're dipping into Dominican and Cuban and Haitian. It's really cool. Really positive vibe at this place. So we're going to talk about that. We'll come back and look at some of their stuff. And then we'll look at their website. So that's kind of a little overview of a few things we're going to do. All right, let me keep coming back. YouTube, I saw a comment or two come in. Bum, 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 bum. Where am I? Where's my... Wes is saying, yes, we do have to promote local agro, which could be local aggression. No, of course, local agriculture, yes. You have a friend, San Diego, who's grown 7 varieties of dragon fruit cactus. Wow, that's cool. Dragon fruit's delicious. I did not know that it grew on a cactus. That's cool. Let's see who else. Oh, Joaquin Rosedale. How are you, my friend? Andre LaSalle is on. What's up, Andy? How you doing? Andy, man, wow, the Big Ears Festival. We didn't talk about that. Let me see here. But I went to the let's see. I went to the Big Ears Festival. Let me see here. Here's my guest coming in a minute. Let's see. Check it out if you don't know about it, Andy. But it's called the Big Ears Festival. Very simple. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, folks. Just trying to do some technical stuff. Multitask. Get my guest on. All right. Let's try to send that again. So yeah, this thing has been going on 9 years in a row, and 10 years. This is the 10th year. Very simple. BigEarsFestival.com. Check it out. And I'm kind of speechless because I've never seen anything like this. I'm gonna go ahead and say greatest festival I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot around the world. So I'll come back to it, but it was very eclectic, very diverse lineup. Stuff from around the world, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different styles. Wow, I saw experimental, weird electronic, experimental hip hop. I saw Los Lobos. I saw William Parker, the great avant-garde jazz player, a couple times, bass player. I saw Ricky Lee Jones. I saw 3 presentations of John Zorn's music, different types of things. I saw Bill Frisell a few times. Wow, that's about a quarter of it. So, again, to be continued some other time. Let's talk later. Yeah, send me a text, Andy. I'm crazy today because I was at a festival instead of knocking down the list of stuff to do. But yeah, I'm around for a quick chat probably later on. So, cool. All right, so we're caught up on questions. I didn't have much. So I had the power shake that led into talking about Whole Foods. And I got one of these things. This is first off, I picked it and I applaud them. It's in glass. So a very recyclable material, glass. So is aluminum. It's called the Chlorophyll Aloe Super Aid. So just very simple. Just a nice drink without refined sugar in it. Aloe vera, lemon, maple syrup. So it's kind of like a master cleanse. That's not. And then there's chlorophyll. I don't know if it's from wheatgrass or what it's from, but yeah, nice. Not too sweet. I love any chance to get some chlorophyll. All right, we're gonna welcome our guest, Chef Kirk, and my first My first technical challenge is here. I got it set up so that I can hear my guest. So, all right, we're going to welcome Kirk from the VEGAN YAAD.
Yeah, Andrea, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. You hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear me good?
I hear you, yeah, and you have no echoes of my voice or anything?
No, you sound great. You sound great.
That's great. That's great. Are you going to be able to come on camera? Do you have a
Yeah,
video?
yeah.
Did you?
One
You
second.
just
I'm waiting for the wife to come in because she's coming right now,
That's
and then
fantastic.
jump on camera.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much for taking some time and you know,
I know it's been crazy. Like last, like a couple of trying to get in, get our time in sync and everything. Like last week was unexpected. So
right.
just thank you for your patience and everything with that.
Of course, of course, of course.
Yeah. I like that shirt. Make your
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I had it on before, and I was gonna change, and I was like, I wore it this morning because just going outside. It's kind of cold, and then I realized I got to make one just like it for this show. I'm sorry, Meatless Monday Meetup, MMM. But this is something else. This is something else that I'm involved in. It's a website.
Yeah.
Make Weird Music. Most people have seen that I do interviews with all kinds of different musicians, and so yeah, check it out. MakeWeirdMusic.com or
okay, I'm gonna check that out. Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
On YouTube also. But yeah, it's a cool logo. And if you look closely, it's instruments. See?
Oh yeah.
There's like a trombone,
Trombone, yeah.
a guitar, and
guitars,
a flute,
saxophone.
saxophone. Yeah.
That's a pretty good, cool little shirt. I like that.
Yep. So yeah, if, let's see here. Just making sure our feeds are okay. Yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. And the beautiful part is this is recorded, so we over the course of a few weeks, we probably get as many people, or more people that check it after the fact. So
yeah,
we're
because of the timing too. Because I was like, during like the Monday, like this time, most people are just like rushing. So I guess like over time, yeah.
Exactly. Some people watch it at 6 o'clock or in a few days. That's what I love. I leave it on my YouTube. I leave it on my Facebook. It's also on Twitch and Twitter, which get much less
nice.
comments. Yeah, it's everywhere. But on the Facebook and the YouTube, the days go by and people make some comments, and the only downside to those folks is they can't ask a question because they're checking it later.
So they have people from across the world, right? That check it out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have. I have a couple people from South America, and I had a guest. I have a chef, friend of mine. She's a chef and a pop-up kind of caterer. Also, she's from. I think she's Argentinian, but she lives in Paraguay.
Yeah.
So she's been on the show. We had a chef from Nigeria. There's a vegan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a vegan restaurant in Lagos, Nigeria. Have you heard of that place?
Yeah, I heard of Lagos, but never heard of the vegan spot. I've never been to. Yeah.
Wow, so I've had people around the U.S. San Francisco, New Jersey, New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yes, people answer in from around Australia. There's two guys that usually jump on from Australia. For them, it's middle of the night.
It's middle of the night. I'm about to say late night movements.
Yeah, so it's cool. What I'm trying to do though, and this is beautiful to have someone finally from my part of the world, Caribbean, and that whole diaspora.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get actually. There's a Guyanese restaurant in Georgetown, Guyana, vegetarian, maybe even vegan, and I leave them messages. It's slow.
Caribbean people. They see 2 years later, like Andrea, you're still doing the podcast.
Oh man, so we're gonna have some jokes about that.
I love our people, but Caribbean people are very, move at our own pace. You understand?
CPT, Caribbean.
Exactly,
people time.
Caribbean people time, man. Caribbean people. All right, so.
But the trade-off is less stress.
Yeah, way less stress.
You know, you know, um, that's one of the different trade-offs. But yeah, so people around the world, and I'm trying to build it. I've got someone in Israel that promises they'll come on. I've got, I did one in England, someone who translates English to German. And as you know, what's cool about that, it reminds people this is a global thing, right? There's people around the world that choose to eat a plant-based diet. So it's not that strange. All right, let's stay on the highway on the Facebook. Michael Bernier, how are you? How's Hawaii? I know, right? It's a little chilly here. I've been enjoying the green screen vibe because now I can put myself, at the Northern Lights or next to a shotgun shack or all kinds of stuff with the dinosaurs. So, I think last week I was on the hot sun. There we go. But we always do something fun. Well, let me go back to the islands. Let's go back to Jamaica.
Back to the islands.
There we go. This is Jamaica, right? I mean,
yeah, like, you see the tree? You see the tree? Now we're in a way, it's a civilization of one part of us. There you go.
So, well, yeah, folks, we have our guests, and we're getting set here with some stuff, and I'm going to show you very quickly a little bit of their website. Let's see, the Vegan Yaad. There we go. And I'll put the links in the chat, folks. So you can jump over to their website. If you're in Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, anywhere that within striking distance, you've got to go check them out. Here's the website. Very good website, by the way. Sometimes some of these chefs and restaurant websites, you go on it and it's like, wow, this dry thing and, just a bunch of writing. And this has less words, more food. So there's all kinds of, pictures of their actual menu items and good information. So we'll look at that a little bit with them. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Let's unshare. And
tell me if you can see. I'm about to go put the camera on real quick.
Oh, you're getting your camera now. Okay, good. There we go.
I know it's not playing.
Chlorophyll. I've been drinking wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass? Oh man, good thing on.
You like wheatgrass?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Hi. I can move over.
All right.
My experience.
Thanks.
Back up a little bit.
Good to see you again. And Kirk, and remind me your name.
Chessie.
Chessie. Tressie with a T.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the audio was a little, but welcome Tressie and Kirk, folks from the Vegan Yaad, and they are in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, and I was explaining. Maybe you can explain better, Kirk. I was explaining that Yaad is like the name for yard, like you're in your own yard.
Yeah, just like your home. You know what I mean? Yard is like the most common Jamaican term for home. And when you're in a yard, you just relax. So that's how we kind of build the yard about. When you come there, you're just relaxing and just being you. Just take your shoes off, kick up a foot, and just have a drink and just chill.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I remember you might have been you weren't even born when this song was out. But I remember there was a song, man, like it's getting to be a minute, like 40 years ago. There was a song, No Way No Better Than Yard.
Yeah, no place are better than Yard. Yeah,
Is that because I
yeah.
mean you were a baby, but songs last forever, right?
Songs last forever. I
But
mean, test
but
through time, you know?
that song stayed popular, huh?
Yeah,
No way,
yeah,
no
yeah.
better than Yard.
No better place than Yard.
That's great. That's great. Well, take us a little bit through the genesis of this, and
Mhm.
any folks watching will know that I was in Fort Lauderdale. We were working on a cruise, so you arrived the night before you go on the cruise, and we get to the hotel and say, "Well, let's get some food." So, vegan food nearby. Boom. Yeah, the vegan yard comes up. There was a couple other things, and the way those apps they show you places that have some vegan food, like there was a Chinese place, but that jumped out. I was like, "Wow, vegan!" And I looked it up, looked at the menu. I called you. I said, "Wow, are you
Yeah.
open?" And you said, "Yeah, we have this special, we have that." And I got in the Uber, and it's this big, wonderful market, which I want you to talk about. But tell me a little bit of the genesis story. How did this start? Tell us a little about what brought you to plant-based cooking.
You want to this?
Well, the vegan yard started. But originally, I was the one that was plant, so I became plant based back in 2017. Mostly health reasons. Why? It started like eliminating process. That's basically how it started. It started before that. It was more when I was in college. I started to eliminate certain foods because I was having certain health issues like skin issues and other personal, like not personal, other health issues, right? Well, mostly like my skin, inf- inflammation of my skin and like fungus on the skin and stuff like that. So went to the doctor, dermatologist, whatever, to give you the cream and the medication and stuff like that. And it just didn't work at all. So researching and searching on Google and online, and I was watching this TV show with a doctor called Dr. Ian Smith, and he helped people like lose weight. But he talked about like the first part of his like his program was a detox. And at the time, I'm desperate because I'm going to dermatologist, I'm on medication and stuff like that. And I was like, well, let me try a detox. I'm gonna just try his detox. I was like, I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to figure out this issue that I'm having, this medical issue. And so I did the detox. I purchased the book and I did the detox it was 21 days. First 7 days was more like a liquid type of detox, just fruits and vegetables and liquids, water. So then that's when he did like a elimination process too. So he eliminated everything solid except for fruits and vegetables, and you drink water, right, and juices, right. So then after the first 7 days, you would go into and put in other liquids back. You would put dairy first, and then you would give orange juice, and then certain carbs, but no meat, right? So then as soon as I put dairy first, because I love dairy, cheese sandwich, cereal at night, every night,
Right.
all of that. So that was my thing. I love dairy. So as soon as I put dairy back, that's when I noticed that was my problem. After the 8th day, started feeling just my digestive system was off too. As soon as I put dairy back, because his thing was more weight loss, but then I used it and I used his concept and to see like if I had allergies. That's the whole thing. I was like, well, am I allergic to food that I'm eating? I was like, well, this is a good way to find out, right?
Right.
So then from there, I realized that I'm because I'm not lactose, but the milk didn't digest good in my system. Like once I drunk it, right? And I always noticed before that I always had issues every time I had berries. Anyway, but I just ate it anyway. I was like, allergies my problem. And then I went to my doctor and then it was like, you're not lactose intolerant, but you could have some type of allergic reaction to dairy. So then I was like, I have to remove dairy. So then that's where it started with me as far as looking at the food that I eat first. Because I'm Haitian. We eat lots of meat. Okay, we eat like meat, chicken, turkey. We that's like we barely eat a lot of vegetables. Like we eat like a lot of starchy vegetables, but not like green vegetables. We eat a lot of fruits and starchy vegetables, right?
Right.
But you know, but it's always come with meat.
Yeah.
Don't eat a lot of dairy, and Haitians don't eat a lot of dairy.
Interesting.
Because there's no cheese in Haiti.
Is that cheese. Just what are the
That's
reasons?
That's a Western thing that
economic
mixed. Yeah, a Western diet that mixed up with that, but don't. Because as a child, my mom didn't feed us cheese. I didn't have cheese. Like we didn't have cereal. That was in breakfast. Breakfast was like cornmeal, and cornmeal and corned beef mixed up, like that. Eggs, but eggs is not dairy.
Right. So, well, that's an incredible story. And if you hadn't picked a natural solution to health challenges, this might not have happened.
No, this wouldn't happen. I think I would have just went the other way and been on medication. Until now.
As so many millions of people do.
Yeah.
We have this everywhere in the world, unfortunately, but lesser degrees in some parts of the world, especially where we all come from, where people boil herbs, there's teas, right? All of our grandparents had some teas and some
Cerisier, some
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But for almost 100 years now, pills and chemicals and things have become. So I love that you found that. I also love that you took it the next step and you said, "Wow, this is a way to figure out what I'm reacting to."
Because the doctors wasn't really telling me anything about nutrition. That was the biggest thing. It was more, okay, you have this problem. Here's some antibiotics, or here's a cream. Here's some pills, mostly antibiotics. And then just clean out your good and bad. But that wasn't a solution, because after the antibiotics were off, it came right back.
Well, that's the thing.
If I didn't use the cream, it came right back. So naturally, on its own, the body wasn't able to function.
That's the thing. No, and you raise a great point about. We don't talk enough, I think, about antibiotics in all of this discussion, because it's in all of these animals, right? They're giving them
hormones and growth hormone pills.
So okay,
hormone disruptors.
Right. So you became then solidly plant-based, and you're expanding and learning how to cook new things. What's the time period of that? Like from the time you started with that first detox to when you were like, wow, I'm shopping for only.
Oh, that was before 2017. That was like, I was in, I can say 2006.
2006 was when you first went to that doctor and got this kind of elimination. So quite a few years, 10 years of learning and changing and
when it came to the type of foods that you're used to. My favorite, I'll say, meat was chicken. I didn't really like fish that much as a child, but chicken was my main. Like, my mom made chicken, I ate it. A lot of the other meats, I wasn't really big on beef, and other people eat goat. There's a lot of goat that's being eaten, but I didn't really like those as a child. Like, I just ate chicken as a child. I was just picky. So, and then dairy, milk and cheese.
As you said,
my thing. That was my main thing. I would drink milk. I would eat a cheese sandwich, or and I wouldn't even eat anything else like that. So milk and cheese was the biggest thing that I had to create a new habit of.
Right.
Because it was easier for me. It was easy for me to drop the meat.
Okay.
It was easy.
Yeah. and I've read something recently where people are starting to establish or to demonstrate that milk is literally addictive. Like so, milk, cheese,
It
right?
is.
So that craving of like, they're finding exactly like I think casein was one of the things
Casein, yeah.
that is showing to have an addictive property, and some other hormones. But that's the thing, because a lot of people say that's the last one to get rid of, kind of. Okay, great. So
It is.
It really is. So then
fast forward.
Yeah, jump up to
Fast forward to that. Met Kirk, and Kirk, he's a chef he cooks everything else. It was Caribbean French, Caribbean American, so it was a fuse. That was his thing. And then when we met, his
let me tell you my journey. So my journey, you want to hear my journey? Yeah. I know, but so when I started, I had a restaurant, and I started that because of one of my friends had cancer, and a doctor told him to eat. At that time, was just organic. So the restaurant that I owned at the time, we did all natural food, so all natural and regular meat. So that was it. So all natural and kind of vegetarian option, right? But then when he got diagnosed with cancer, it was like, yo, the food you're eating is bad. I mean, like, what you mean the food we're eating is bad? You know what I mean? Like when Chelsea going through her thing, I'm like finding out from my thing, because I didn't have any health issues. You know what I mean? But here go this guy I know has this big health issues.
No, Kirk is lactose intolerant.
No, I find out later. That's something I'm gonna jump in the conversation. You can't give my story. I'm here to tell my story first. You understand? No. So okay. So, but I didn't know that I had that kind of health issues, because you don't really pay attention to, like, especially like young man. You don't really
when you're young, yeah.
You're not focused on that. You're eating your ice cream and drinking your milk, all that kind of foolishness, So when sorry for that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry, Siri. Cancel Siri. I don't like Siri talking right now. She don't want us to be great. Sorry about that. Hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. So anyway, so the guy had so we went to the doctor. The doctor told him, like, you have to go organic and stuff. So I started researching, and this is like 2009. No, I'm lying. 2007. There was a doctor was like, oh, you have to start eating more organic food. And organic food back in days wasn't big down in Miami. This is when I just moved from New York down here, and it wasn't really big. So I had this notion of organic food, and we started pushing more organic food. And as a doctor, and as you educate yourself, should I say, you start realizing that, there's a lot of stuff was going on with the meat. And this was a couple of years back, right? So, their chicken was taking, what took chicken a cycle off of, what's that, about 2 months to become like a full adult chicken? We're taking days, 3 days.
It's so incredible.
Exactly. So imagine what I was doing to your body at the time,
It took them 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 months, 2 weeks.
2 months to 2, exactly. So what kind of thing is that? So I was like, all right, nah, man. So his health issues kind of shook something for me. So I'm like, all right, well, I always wanted to dabble with, let's say, vegan food, right? This is years later, after that restaurant. And then I'm like, but no one want to take the journey with me, right? So I'm just kind of like, man, I don't really know how to get started. And then I met this Empress. Yeah, I met her once, but I met her a second time, right? Like, I'm not gonna give you the long story. I was stalking her for a while, but she was stalking me first. Anyways, so no, I met her, and then she was telling me, oh, you could be, you want to be a vegan? Okay, well, I can show you the options,
I said, Kurt, let's do a 30-day vegan. I was like, you need to create vegan food. I was like, yeah, you cook meat and all that stuff, but I'm vegan. And I know you're interested in me, so I need you to create like vegan options. So I cooked. I learned how to cook because I didn't know how to cook vegan. I learned from different cultures. The internet is amazing. I learned from the Asian culture. I learned from Indian culture. I learned from the Caribbean culture. Also, like mostly Jamaica. Okay, and those were the 4 because they're very high plant-based, like in food, and Mediterranean. culture,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So those five, you know, because there's fruits and vegetables and grains and teeth, and they use this three different ways, right? So then there, I was looking at foods that I like, and I wanted to create them into plant-based options.
Mhm.
So coming from my Caribbean culture, we don't got that because
Not
then
that.
Haitians don't. When I say we don't, we don't. The biggest thing is I said the starch and the fruits.
That. Yeah.
That's
That's
those
the
are the
basis.
two main things.
Mhm.
That's the basis. But like, you know, dairy, like coconut milk, yeah, but it wasn't really, it's not big in the Haitian culture. Unless you know they we cook with it, but we don't really like drink it like that.
Right. Yeah.
You got to make something with it,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Hmm.
So I took certain things like that from my Haitian culture, and then learn from other cultures like what they how they turn things into things that you like, right? Like things that you're familiar with eating.
Hmm.
So then I started with dairy first. I was like, I gotta figure out dairy. The cheese part was the hardest. So I just got rid of cheese because I couldn't create that. But milk, it was different. Like I started with coconut milk,
Sure.
started with soy milk from the Asian culture, um, then rice milk for Asian culture. A lot of the milk I got from Asian.
Sure. Sure.
So from there, milk was easy. So I dropped milk right then and there. As soon as I had all those options for milk, I dropped milk. So then that's where it started. And then the cheese was so hard to do. I just was like, I cannot do cheese. And I didn't really see anyone at the time like really making like a plant-based cheese. So then I just got rid of cheese
Just get rid of it.
altogether.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then so I was still now I can eat cereal. I'm back to cereal because I can eat cereal now. So then I like things like I like tacos and you know burritos. That was easy because then I use beans. And then and then I started to teach myself how to eat more greens because then I didn't eat a lot of greens. So then I was introduced to a lot of new greens, like green food, right? Like kale and Haitians we eat spinach too, but we kind of mix it up in this meal called legume, and then there's meat that's slabbed right into
Right.
that.
Always.
So I had to like take the meat out and then create that legume without the meat but with the flavor. So I started training myself from other cultures and reminding them of taking the meat out. And it was easy for them because I have a lot of different types of milk that I can make on my own, right? So then when I met her, is that that's when I kind of went fully vegan at the time. Because 2006 was more elimination and finding out what my body, as far as food,
Mhm.
like being allergic to or what I can't consume. You understand? So then over those years, let's say 5 years after that, because I was still consuming meat, even when I just eliminated dairy from that time. But I was still eating chicken and fish at the time,
Right.
right?
Right.
Or turkey. So
Slowly
then
coming
it's
to.
not
Yeah.
until
Mhm.
2017 that's when I was like, I'm gonna go fully plant based, and I took that to go fully plant based, and I was like,
Sure.
I'm just gonna do it. And then at the time, I said, let's say a year into it, a year or two into, that's when Kurt stopped me back again, and then he
Right.
showed up again, and then you know we.
Well,
I know you're talking about.
I love that you gave him a like an ultimatum. You said,
Yeah,
well,
I gave him a
if you
challenge. I'm
wanna.
like, I'm plant based. You're a chef,
You know,
so that works.
this is okay. So
Can you
all right.
create
So
food?
let,
And I was
let me
like,
not
join me.
okay, let me not bore
I
Andre
said,
them challenge
join
people
me,
for a long time. Hold on, let me just
and let's
explain
do
two
plant
things.
based.
Okay.
I was like, let's start with
Andre, it's
30
not
days.
even like that, Andre. It's not even like that. So Siri come back again. Every time I start talking, Siri like me. Anyway, so
No,
no, sorry for this. All right, anyways,
Siri, stop.
so Andre.
Okay.
no one.
Okay, sorry, Andre. Sorry, audience. This
It's
Siri
good.
thing is a man. No one Siri. Cancel.
It's relaxed. Down, Siri, down.
Okay, so now let me circle back and fast forward this thing because you tell the whole world history of world. All right, let me tell the thing. All
She's
right,
loving it.
so she loving this. So this is the thing. So when I met her, I always wanted to go plant-based, but I didn't have anyone, right? So then I link up with her, and then she was doing plant-based. So I was like, oh, interested. So she said, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Go make some food. And she said, do you want to do, she said, I want to do it. She can challenge me for 30 days, go make some food. So I go in the kitchen. Now I could cook. I cook for the best of them. I cook for the president. I cook for the Olympic swimmers. I cook for a lot of different people in my time, right? Turn around now, I'm in the kitchen after she gave me this challenge. And I'm like, day 2, I'm eating salad. Day 3, I'm eating salad. Then I called her, I was like, yo, I'm done with this. I got a headache, this thing is madness. We gotta talk about it. She's like, Kirk, you're Jamaican. Most of you guys' meals are vegetable. She's like, take away the meat. Keep the flavor. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, because I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, take away the meat. Because I am mixing meat with flavor.
Exactly.
Not realizing that meat isn't flavor. Meat is just texture. You know what I'm saying? So now when she put that in my mind and she said, come over. She said, come over. I'm going to give you something. All right? So this now, you have to be a student sometime in life. So I was a student. Because I wanted to learn this process and see what this is going to be. So she made me this meal. And it was a great meal because there was no meat involved in this meal. And it was just an amazing meal that she made. So I was like, boy, all right, cool. This girl challenged me now. So let me go back to the drawing board now. I'm not impressed her. Well, I don't care. It was the best meal because I was starving. So the best meat that's not the world. So anyways, so now I said, okay, all right, that. So now I start challenging myself to start thinking outside the box. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, all right, so I call her over to try some meal. She's like, wow, what the heck? You know what I mean? Because then I'm like, okay, well, all I'm doing is flavor now. Right? My mom teach me how to cook. You know what I mean? I learned from no institution. My mother yard this. So anyways, so that's how I started. So then I just literally took what she gave me, right? And then I just took it to the level that I can cook on. And then she always challenged, like she's a very, as you can see, a very, I'm just a passionate woman. So she doesn't like, no shortcut in life. You understand?
Right.
So that's where the ultimate thing came with the food.
Challenge him. So fast forward to that, Kirk, introducing more plant-based into his eating, and then
COVID happened.
COVID happened.
Oh, right when you start, okay.
Right. Yeah. So then COVID happened, and then so during COVID, I was like, Kirk, you got to implement way more plant-based. Like, let's go 80% now. Mm-hmm. Right. So then, and I challenged, I was like, okay, well, because then now we created, I was like, well, you got to choose a side. Mm-hmm. Because he was still doing both sides, right? He was still doing,
I was doing fish. I was doing fish.
Right, but not like cooking wise.
Yeah, cooking wise. Yeah,
because even before COVID, he was having he was cooking, but he did an annual party, right? Like a Christmas party. He did a sizzling summer. He had sizzling dinners. That's what it's called. He had sizzling summer. He had sizzling fall, sizzling winter. Yeah. He invited private dinner. Invited about 30 people, and it was a 3-course meal. So I was like, okay, put your favorite dishes that that you fed to your clients, to the president, all that. That'll be the menu. And then and also you have to have a vegan option. Mm-hmm. So you got to create a 3-course meal.
Right. Completely.
Exquisite 3-course meal for the vegan option. Right. So in there, that became his challenge. So I was like, if it's let's say a scallop meal or a fish meal, I was like, you better go learn what texture of plants that's going to be used for that.
So many, right.
Yeah,
so that was before COVID, when, from his...
2017, 2018.
Right, 2018, and then COVID happened, but then he did. Every sizzling dinner, he had a plant-based 3-course meal. Wow. And then he was marketing that on, what's that called?
Wow.
On social media.
And then on... whatever the name of that thing is, that different platform.
Happy Cow or something. Yeah. Okay.
No, not Happy Cow. Happy Cow. We did it on We can find events.
Yeah,
Events. Yeah, events.
Okay.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventbrite.
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 Yeah.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
the main place we had it on, Eventbrite.
Yeah.
So then there was different people that just wanted, bought the ticket.
Mhm.
So it was vegans,
Mhm.
it was and also people, with that eat meat too. Because he had the plant-based option, it brought in plant-based customers like that. Because I told him, well, in your business, implement it. So then eventually it will evolve into it. So that's how the little stone started packing up
Becoming
into
big rock.
into the business and how it became the vegan yard.
Yeah.
Because it started from and then eventually became this. So then from that, implementing it for customers on
That's
that
great.
sizzling dinner.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then we did sizzling dinner for 2 years,
and
then COVID happened. Now COVID happened, sizzling dinner stopped,
Mhm.
and then we're home, and I was like, well, you gotta up your percentage on plant-based.
Now the challenge begins. Now this is where it begins.
You gotta create a cookbook. So the thing is, I'm challenging him for himself so he can, because if you're cooking it, create it for something that you could create for other people, but create it for yourself too so that you can enjoy it also.
Right.
So
You're
during
eating
COVID,
3 times a day, right?
I was like, well, let's do plant-based breakfast, lunch, and let's create some dinner. So I was like, let's make it personal now. We're gonna create plant-based food that you enjoy.
Mhm.
You're Jamaican. What do you like? What was the number one meal that you liked, and what was it?
And oxtail.
Oxtail.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so
So
you imitated that first, like an oxtail stew?
Yeah, first. The first thing I imitated was the Aki Rasta pasta because I love Aki Rasta. I love sawfish, Aki and sawfish.
Yeah,
so that was the first one that I did first.
But he did a Aki and
a quiche, like a little palm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he did a Aki and heart of palm meal. So he started creating all the
different
Jamaican meals that he enjoyed while during COVID. Because I was like, we have to change it. Because I was like, we got to take it to another level. And I was like, you got to create a cookbook too. So I'm going to create a cookbook. And then he started doing Budget Wednesdays on YouTube. And then I was like, you're going to create a vegan Budget Wednesdays at least every other week. So create a vegan plant-based meal every other week too.
Well, let's say we come up with the idea of the Budget Wednesday. And it was good.
Yeah,
but anyway, next question, Andrea. Next question.
Well, let me.
The whole transition came into pass, and that's how the vegan yard.
I love it. I love seeing how this traveled along. Let me stop for a second because I want to. 2 things you said I want to highlight. For Aki, we're going to come back to Aki, but first, let's take a look because we got to get people drooling and looking at some of this wonderful food. There it is, the vegan oxtail. So there's their platter. What a balanced thing. And the more and more you read, whether it's nutritional magazines or magazines about Epicurean things and cooking or New York Times, everyone says, get a rainbow onto your plate. It's different colors. And they're saying, because the red gives you this and the orange gives you beta carotene. And look at that, folks. You got cabbage, carrots, all these things. Tell us about this platter here because that looks delicious.
Okay. So this is like a traditional oxtail. We go to a Jamaican restaurant and are you home with your mom at the yard, kick your foot up on a Sunday. This is what this meal will look like, right? So you have your cabbage, your steamed cabbage with your carrots. Then you have your rice and peas with coconut milk. Then you have your plantain on the other side. You can't miss the plantain. And then of course you have your oxtail, the vegan oxtail. Now this creation was just pure madness. I mean, I did it. It took 3 days to make this thing. It's not 1 day, it's 3 days, right? 1 day to actually mold and to get the mushroom and to get the texture right. Then the second day for it to now put into itself and mold it together. Then the third day for after it's set, then you cook it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to cut in, but the texture, the chewiness, the piece that's replacing the I'm going to say it, replacing the dead animal, the dead cow.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
you're using is mushroom, huh? And
Mushroom and beans.
wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
You
That's
know?
great. And you get that same texture. And all right, okay, so carry on
So
then.
the biggest thing is the gravy, because everybody loves. Like, I'm not, like I said, I was never like a beef fan. I was never an oxtail fan, because in Creole we make oxtail, but Jamaicans do a browning sauce, a brown sauce,
Brown stew
and then
sauce, yeah.
a brown stew sauce, and then Haitians do a tomato based sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but I was never a big fan of oxtail. So then, but the thing about oxtail in the Caribbean culture is the gravy,
Mm-hmm.
because the tail basically it doesn't have any like
Nothing
meat.
on it.
It's just a bone, and then it has like little
A little piece of
it, right?
liquid
But they make this gravy, this thick stew type of gravy, and it has all the flavors from like
the butter beans,
so it's the vegetables that actually, because I tell people, try eating a piece of oxtail raw with no seasoning, no vegetable, nothing, and let me know if it's gonna be the same thing.
Thank you.
Right. So it's the vegetables, and the herbs, and those are the things that make the meat
a dish. You understand?
That makes dish. So that's what creates the thickness. Even the browning sauce. The browning sauce is made with molasses. So that's what creates that thick gravy. And I'll see people. They'll like, just give me the gravy with the rice. That's it.
That's great. That's great. Well, there's so many beautiful dishes here. I want to show a couple more. Or how about this one? The vegan scotchy balls, because that.
Yeah, man. So,
wow. Talk about that, because you got the Scotch bonnet peppers. How is that made?
So,
yeah.
This is just straight fire. so no.
So it goes after our slogan.
Yeah, tastes so good. You saw it. It's on the back of the shirt.
Right.
It's on the back of our shirt, right here.
Right there. I think you can't see because it's blurred.
Yeah.
But I talked about this last week, and how the cheeky slogan, folks. Tastes so good, you got to swallow. But yeah, tell us about this, because these are like balls, like meatballs or any kind of round
it's
kind of thing.
Substitute for like a meatball, but it's just our vegan balls. We don't call it meat because they don't meat in it.
Of course.
Straight, our vegan balls. I mean, literally, it's as close to Italian homemade meatballs as you can get, but with a Jamaican twist. We have the Scotch bonnet pepper that's chopped up inside of it, along with our mango jerk sauce inside of it. It's like a mango jerk marinara sauce.
Wow.
And then we for like, let's say, infuse it with everything.
He fries
the peppers.
Scotch bonnet peppers.
I can see, right. They get so nice. And then, okay, so you get a few of these, the sauce, the peppers. This is for the spice. This is for the spice
for the
lovers,
spice
right?
person. Like, if you love that, if you love spicy, two things on the menu that's really spicy is these, and then the spicy curry shake. And those two things, because that one is made with like 7 or 8 different Scotch bonnet pepper inside of it.
Amazing.
You know what I mean?
And when we ordered some food, unfortunately, you were out of this one. So is this like a top popular?
Yeah,
it's a really good appetizer. Like,
so
at the market, people like to walk around. Yeah. So it's a good appetizer. You take a toothpick and you just
Sure. That's great. What I love too is the hybrid kind of nature of some of your food. Where's the one I was looking for? There's a well, you have a few things that are I think bringing in like the Mexican eggs or something.
Yeah.
So, like these, I thought this was great. The jerk stick rolls, because that's like a global dish. It's kind of it's a little Middle Eastern. It made me think of Mexican. Made me think of Jamaican. Tell us how you developed this one, because this is.
Well,
I like egg rolls.
She loves egg rolls. You know what I mean? She loves egg rolls. So that's just
have a lot to do with the foods that we like.
Okay.
And then we'll look at like the popularity. Like we'll see in the market, like people like egg rolls.
And
the Chinese, like I always order a spring roll. Like I always do. Kirk like them.
I love spring rolls
all the time.
Oh, they're great.
Egg rolls. So from there, I was like, Kirk, we need to create a Caribbean fused egg roll or spring roll, right? So I was like, what do you like in a roll? So
Great,
from
great.
there,
We just came up with
we
the
just came up with
science.
that, and then we used mushroom because Kirk likes chicken a lot. So it was like, okay, we need to make something like a chick similarity texture, and then
lion's mane is the best one to get
lion's mane mushroom, and we jerk that in our homemade in-house sauce. And then there have the
this one. No, this one of our popular meals. This one became
Oh yeah, this one.
We sell it every weekend on this one. On this one we sell it every week. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired of making them. I'm tired. It's rolling there. I'm like.
Okay. Now I didn't get this one either when we were there. I think it was out. Yeah, but this is. So that's a crispy kind of a shell, like egg roll crispiness.
Yeah, so everything now is what's great about it. The market challenges too, because there's another thing I want to let you know. Like when you come to the market, you can't deep fry or can't fry anything. No. So everything has to be done through an air fryer.
Oh.
So the challenge for this is like, okay, well, especially with the oxtail, because oxtail when I first made it, it was a traditional, just like frying it and giving that nice little brown texture. But now I'm like, oh man, how are we gonna do this? So now we had to put it in an air fryer and get the same golden crunch, just like the egg roll, and then still get the same oxtail look as the oxtail, the browning look, the same exact look through an air fryer. So this is not only is it healthier in the fact that you are eating vegetables, but you also eating food that is not oil free. Thank you, oil free. Thank you very much.
So from the market we kind of had to switch because the market started having. Well, the city of Hollywood started having a little more regulations when it came to oil because outside no one has a
vent.
Yeah. So a fire can break out if you're frying food and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
So with that, we kind of had to change the way
texture
how we cook the food because some of them we needed to have oil in them, right? Or we had to fry them. Like egg rolls are usually fried, So we had to go back to the kitchen,
drawing board, and sketch out something new.
Wow!
Create it so it can still give you that texture. Like when you bite into a roll, it's like crunchy, and it has the moisture in there without it being soft.
Right.
Sometimes in air fryers it do that if you don't,
That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm very new to air frying, but I love it. Two specific Jamaican things I want to ask you to explain to people. I know because my dad and my uncle lived in Jamaica for years. So I was very fortunate to live there on and off for summertime or go for a month. And I started going there in like 81 when I ate flesh. So I had jerk chicken. I had jerk pork. I've eaten it. But then by 84 I was vegetarian. So every time I went, I discovered the Rastas and the Ital food. Tell people a little bit what jerk is. Of course, obviously some people know it's a mix of spices and stuff. Tell us about jerk and tell us about this product that you have.
The mango jerk sauce and the pineapple sauce. So jerk is just a way of pimento wood, right? Pimento wood is what really a jerk is all about, right? You got flavor, that texture, that pungent flavor, should I say, when it comes down to jerk. And then jerk was like by maroon people. So when Jamaica, when the diaspora of like Black Africans came and mixed with the maroon people, maroons were actually using pimento and jerking before. When jerk was like, let's say they dig up the ground in the wood and put the meat down there and smoke the meat, right? So that's how jerk literally started. And then the spices and everything that was coming along with it. But back then, remember, they didn't have a blender to grind up everything. Everything was ground into let's say a pot, like a stone pot, you know what I mean? And grind up the herbs and everything. And then from that, you would just go ahead and, put that on whatever you're gonna eat, right? So now jerk is only done one way. In Jamaica, jerk is just hot. And I was talking to my cousin the other day about this because the other day she called me and she was like, "Oh, Kirk, I want some of your jerk sauce, but do you have it in mild?" And I said to her, I said, wait a minute. I was like, she's like, my bad. She's like, in Jamaica, there's only one way we do jerk, and that's just hot. And that's it. There's no substitution. There's nothing. You know what I mean? But here in America, because the palates are a lot different, you have to have different textures. Now,
Right.
difference with now
Spice.
those two sauces that you just saw, the pineapple and the mango sauce. I came up with those a long time ago because I like pineapple and I like mango, right? So, but I love jerk as well too. But I wanted to be where you can enjoy the flavor without it being so hot, right? So the pineapple will cool it down and give you a sweet taste. So I said the pineapple like more for the ladies, right? So it's more sweet, more
Well, there's
flavorful, you know what I mean? And then the mango, no, the mango rough, that's for the man them. So it's burn up your mouth and make you feel, yeah, I need some water for this. So, those are kind of like the concept of these two sauces. You can
sure,
put them
sure.
as a dipping sauce. You can use them, as
So it's jerk for flavor.
thank you.
So it's the spicy with the flavor. So
Yeah.
like a tart,
Sorry,
citrus
yeah.
tart. So when I met Kirk, he already had those sauce. And then the crazy part about Kirk's sauce, when he created them, they were already plant-based. The only thing he changed was he used to put honey.
And put
And
agave.
he changed it and he put agave.
Agave, and I took out
Uh-huh.
agave because agave got issues
And
now.
then he took out agave completely because of the fact of like agave being
I said overproduced.
refined.
Yeah,
Oh,
refined
yeah,
and
no,
Over the years.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
he
know.
completely took that out and then just left so now with the sauce itself, the sweetness comes from the sweet mangoes that grows in South Florida.
Okay, yeah.
So these mangoes come from the backyard of somebody.
Somebody
That's
else
where
yard, is it?
that's our manufacturers. They don't come from the store because we need it to be sweet like candy, and that's basically so. That's the thing with the mango and then the pineapple. So then the pineapples get very very ripe. So you don't make the sauce without the pineapple being very ripe.
That's great.
So that you can keep the
The
sweet
sweet texture.
in
People,
there.
people like their sweet, but we want
People like
natural
the
sweet.
but
Yeah.
then we're more because he had to change the sauce a little
It's
bit.
always education.
Right.
The kitchen is
You know,
never not
so
involved
then
in.
it has the sauce. It took out sweeteners, so there's no
Yeah.
sweeteners in there anymore.
There's no
like it was
preservatives.
before.
I love it.
And
And
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then it's
Yeah.
all natural,
Yeah.
like natural sweeteners from the fruit itself.
sure. And
Right. So
people
then,
yeah, and of course everyone's looking for sugar-free, preservative-free stuff like that. So
Yeah.
can you get these are available by mail order or just you have to come to your stand?
No,
Mail
mail order and the
and
stand.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
crazy.
if-
That's how we were selling them online. It was
Right.
online, and people will order them, mail order, and you just ship the sauce.
Okay, so if people just go to your website,
Yeah.
theveganyaardkitchen.com, they can get it. They can see a way to order, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay,
You got to-
that's important. That's great. The other, so that's jerk, and as you said, there's different types of jerk, but the pimento wood, that's the you
That's
can't
the
do it
key.
without that.
You
When,
can't
when
do
they're
it,
cooking,
yeah.
when they're cooking down
Yeah,
in
when they're
Jamaica.
cooking down in Jamaica, it's a pimento wood. So
Now,
even like Boston jerk or them places, it's all pimento wood. Yeah?
the other thing is I want you to tell people about Aki because
Ooh.
man, you're so
That's
lucky
his
that
favorite.
you get it. So
That's his favorite. That's her most like. It wasn't the oxtail, but oxtail was a highly favored Jamaican meal or Caribbean meal because it's in every Caribbean
Yeah.
and people
Yeah.
eat.
yeah, we
Even
had it.
in Caribbean, all Caribbeans, even Hispanics and stuff.
Everybody
It's
have
across
a
the
favorite.
board.
Yeah.
It's across the board. Like
Yeah.
people eat oxtail. I didn't even know how much every culture eats oxtail. I was like, until
Well,
we created this plant-based one that white people, black people, oxtail, like
Yeah.
everybody.
And it's very economic because the people in the big mansion probably weren't eating oxtail, but
Not even
they
close.
cut that the chitlins, the intestines of the
Yeah.
pig in the
Yeah.
USA. So that's a whole other interview
whole
we could do
Yeah.
about. But oxtail, and one thing I remember as a kid eating meat, I never liked anything out of the like tongue. Forget about it. Oxtail. Forget about it. Cow foot and stuff. And iguana. We have iguana in Guyana. No. Even as a kid, I was like, okay, chicken, fish, pork, and so that's interesting. So we come back to ackee. So it's a tree. It's from a tree, right? Tell people it's from. Yeah, here it is.
So ackee, Jamaican national dish. Ackee and sawfish, banana, dumpling. Oh, you can't go wrong. That's breakfast right there. And that lasts all day till 2:00. But ackee, what it is that you can't pick it too early because if you do, it will poison you. Okay, you have to wait till it open up the bloom. Right, it's one of these. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful red. Like the outer shell is so beautiful and red, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, let me just bite into it because it looks so beautiful."
Like sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the colors of sunset.
And then when it bursts open, you see those pods that you see. Those are the we call it the blessings from the gods. I would like to call it. Wow. So now you pick it. You would clean out the heart of the inside of it. Like you see the heart. You take off the black part. That's the seed. Just get rid of that. Yeah, you can plant that if you want to get. But they grow wild and they will take over your whole neighborhood. So I wouldn't suggest you plant it anywhere.
Wow.
But it's so you know how in the spring when you have the blossom of the trees that's have the flowers. Maybe they're pink. Maybe they're yellow. That's how the ackee tree looks. It's just the colors are just like a sunset.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just like a sunset. It's beautiful. The tree itself, beautiful. But when it flourish and then it break apart, you have red flowers.
And then the problem is that there's thousands upon thousands of them. So on your yard, if you decide to grow, that's what you're gonna have on your yard all day long. A whole bunch of them.
Oh,
right. Open it now. Yeah, and then it stinks. I'm gonna be real with you. It stinks when it starts rotting. So just make sure that you have a Jamaican around you that will help you out to eat all of it. But so let me tell you preparation.
Yeah.
So preparation, once you clean it, once you take off the top, gut it, and then you boil it first. Okay, you don't boil it too long, but you boil it for let's say, chucks like 2 to 3 minutes. You're boiling it, right? Because you don't want it to get too soft. It will get mushy on you real quick. All right, it's one of these things that is very delicate. As I tell people, Jamaicans make the best chef because they're crazy. Because I don't know how they came up with all this concept of making these foods, right?
Right.
So now you boil it first, so therefore you could cut out some of the enzyme and the starchiness out of it, draw that out of it. Yeah. So then when you pull that, now you let it sit. All right, you drain it, let it sit. Then you cut up now we do art of palm. The sawfish was the things of the past. I'm gonna give you guys a quick little recipe you can make with ackee and sawfish. All right. So you get your art of palm. You chop up your art of palm. You get some seaweed. Chop up the seaweed. Get some salt, not too much, but just enough so you can taste a little bit of the salt in there. You get your thyme, your scallion, some peppers. Okay. You get your onion, of course. All right. You slice them up nice and neat. All right. Then you go to my website and buy from me. But that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just messing with you. Now you put your black pepper salt and everything, and you're good to go.
Right, but the ackee goes last.
I love it.
It's delicate.
Yeah.
You don't cook the ackee while you simmering, but you put it last in everything because it's very delicate. It'll just mush up. Yeah.
No, thank you, because a lot of people don't realize, unless you went to Jamaica, and even people who went to Jamaica, if you're not adventurous, but you'll probably have it because they put it for breakfast and stuff.
In any resort.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the can, the brine. Yeah.
In the States, it's so hard to get, and look, it's not cheap, folks. Look at that.
Not at all. Not at all.
I think one can, I might buy some, but it's worth $10 or $15 to treat yourself. But one, look at that, folks. It's not. It's dear, as we say in the Caribbean.
That's inflation prices. Before it was half that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's inflation, realistic.
19 ounce.
That's inflation prices.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Before inflation, it was half that price.
Yeah.
No, it was 19 ounce. But I'll tell you what, $10. Now you're starting to talk. Look, I just Googled this. I never heard of this brand. Have you?
Yeah, no, listen. Yeah, listen is good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think
Good.
You only live once. I think I might have to order a can or two. Look at that.
Make sure you drain off the water, wash it. Okay.
Right.
So drain the water, wash it off. You don't have to worry about cooking this one because it's already cooked already. Okay.
Right.
So all you're gonna do is just literally drain the water off with some nice cold water. just to kind of get off the extra brine that's on it, or whatever the case may be, or the preservative that's on it. And then, then after that, you let it drain. Then you just wait for the cook up the peppers and onions, and you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the trick part is what you're gonna eat with it.
Well, I usually just do it with some in oil with maybe a little bit of. I don't have callaloo, but some spinach or some kale or something green. But that's it, and some habanero, Scotch bonnet. Make it spicy.
Of course,
little salt and pepper. It's delicious on its own.
It's delicious, man. Just like that. You need nothing else,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
Well, really good fruit.
That's right.
It doesn't have. It takes the flavor of whatever you put with it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue to be hungry. So I'm going to put the link of your website. People can find it. It's in the chat, and let's look at your Instagram, because that's where everything is, folks.
That's where the magic is at.
That's where the young people are.
Yeah.
Who? So do you both set up the Instagram? Do you feed into this, or who takes care of this?
Both of us. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most fun Instagram accounts, and we're in a time of explosion. There's a lot of plant-based food.
That's
a lot.
Oh man, I've learned so much, like what people have done, like going to like festivals and seeing like what other, like Chicago has a really good vegan restaurant. Like when I used to travel for work, and I used to go, Chicago was the main base, and like Chicago had a place where it was kind of like a southern vegan, but fused with I'll say like
you're talking about American,
like American Southern vegan spot, and they made this. They made like this. It was a cake, like a corn cake type of cornbread that could easily be made vegan, but theirs was so good, like so good, and they had they made like this smothered like I'll say pork chop smothered type of plant base, and they use like more like at the time, it was a few years ago, they use soy, like soy chunks, and they use soy, and they use corn or whatever. But their restaurant was like it was a southern restaurant, and it was so good. So good.
Yeah, well, that's great. And Chicago has a few plant-based places now, and one I went to was kind of a soul meets raw. It was like a raw thing with a lot of good places. So let's look at some of your favorites here. So you got the plantain fries, which is platanos plantain. Those are delicious, and and obviously people can picture that hot, spicy. And then what's the middle one? Is that like beans and rice with? Yeah,
that's like different meals and different options.
Okay.
So this is like if you're kids enjoying it.
So we have this jerky lotus that is like the kids love it. It's a jerk. So elotes is a Mexican.
This one
right there.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Like that one with children. Oh my God, they just love it because we make it is jerk. It's a mixed jerk, I'll say like a mayo cheese sauce that we put on there, and then we spiced it up. So we mimic the elotes that the Mexicans make,
right?
And we just made it vegan, and then when we fused it with jerk, and like that's
hybrid.
Yeah.
No,
that's kind of our thing. Like we like to fuse what we love with other different cultures to complement there, and then of course we bring in our own Caribbean flavor to it.
No, I love that, and but now even in the Mexican elote, what's not vegan? Is it it has butter? I guess
the cheese and the butter.
Oh, butter.
Yeah.
Cheese. Okay. So that base they put on there is kind of like a mayo, and then there's cheese.
Right.
So what's the cheese called? Cojota?
Oh, cojota or something like that. I can't say it right. I don't want to mess it up.
So it's very cheese based, And then
Right.
the flakes that they put, the white flakes, that's cheese
Cheese, right.
also,
Mhm.
kind of like a
Double cheese
Parmesan
spread,
cheese.
I
yeah.
forgot.
It's layered
Yeah.
with, yeah.
I never had it. But you know, I just want to remind people, not that far, Jamaica to Mexico.
Not at all. You're
You know,
cousins.
let's be
All of it. Look at this island. All of us are cousins.
right in the middle. And I do this too because you know, you meet people who they don't know where stuff is.
Mhm.
So I want to pull. I always do this quite often to give people perspective. You got Florida, then the Big Island of Cuba, and then Jamaica, right in the
Right
middle.
there. Remember,
As you
yeah.
said, just centered on everything. Now, where were you born in Jamaica, Kirk?
Kingston, right there.
Oh, there we
Kingston,
go.
right there. Kingston
Kingston,
20.
Jamaica. And
Kingston,
and,
JA.
and Tressie, you were born in Haiti in what city?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
no, I was born in the Bahamas.
Yeah,
I'm
Bahamas.
Oh,
I'm a hybrid.
Bahamas.
Hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Haitian
Oh.
Bahamian.
Yeah.
I was born in Nassau on Market Street.
Okay, so there we go,
There she go,
Bahamas.
right there.
Right.
Nassau,
Nassau.
right there.
But your parents from Haiti?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
What
all
the
right,
pay?
no, that's great. So tell us a little bit. We're gonna keep looking at some of the incredible foods here, but what's how did you connect with this market? What's it called? Yellow and Green?
Yellow Green Farmers Market.
So it's funny thing because I tried this market 3 times before this one time. So the 3 times I tried, I wasn't doing any kind of vegan option. I
Oh,
was the
really?
first time I
Okay.
came was yeah. First time I came out, I just left the restaurant and I wanted somewhere else to kind of like still cook and talk to people and do that type of stuff. They were packed. I mean, packed. Like you couldn't get a seat in there. It was so packed. All right, that was the first time. Second
No,
time
but
again.
before that, we was at the Coconut Grove Vegan Farmers Market.
No. I'm talking. He's talking about how we got to this market. In Coconut Grove, I'm gonna get that, but I'm
Yeah,
talking
because
about
that
this one.
shut down and then COVID happened.
Yeah. Okay, so you're just gonna tell that part of this. Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, the story was done, and that was it. No. But so yeah, I tried 3 different times, and then on the third try, when COVID happened, after we didn't have we called the Coconut Grove Market, then I said, okay, let's give it another shot at here at the Yellow Green Farmers Market, and when I went there, it was just our luck. They renovated, they created the entire thing new, and because of COVID, a lot of people, were uncertainties, so they didn't want to come back. They were like, So then my space was open, and we walked around to kind of like see where we wanted to be, and the guy was like, Mark, right? He was like, this location is the best location for you. He was like, because this is right in front of the office. There's nothing in front of you. This is going to be it. Stay right here. And we're like, oh, let's go take a walk around. And he's like, all right, whatever, but this is where we're going to be. So then we came right back at 626. And 626 is where we set up shop. And it was great because a lot of people found us and it was amazing. And then all of a sudden they put a big piece of shop right in front of us. So,
But the Yellow Green Farmers Market was during COVID, and we create the cookbook because we do have a cookbook out. It's called
From the street to the kitchen?
From the Streets to the Kitchen.
It's on the website, right?
Yes,
on the website,
yeah.
right? So that was created during COVID, and then also all of those vegan meals. Most of them, not all of them. Some of them we created
during
when we was there. Yeah. But the vegan oxtail was in the Aki Rasta pasta was the 2 meals that was already created during COVID. So then now Kirk was for him to find a spot. So, it's after COVID, and I was like, Kirk, you got to find a spot. And then that's when he had to choose. He had to choose if he's going to create a restaurant that is going to be plant, including vegan options, and then also have meat options, or he's going to go plant-based completely. So then before he went to go find a spot, he had to make that decision. And then he decided that he's going to make only plant-based, and he's going to go fully plant-based. And then he went to go look for the spot, and then found the spot.
And let me tell you the funny thing. So when I went and I put my name on the application, and the guy didn't call me back. So I'm like, oh man, he didn't call me back for the spot. So then I went there. I was like, no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go once again. I'm just going to go. So I go. And I walked there and I'm like, the lady up front, Sally, shout out to Sally. So Sally was like, Kirk, I remember you. She's like, "Where? I know I had your application right here. I'm just about to give it to Mark, the guy. I'm just." She's like, "Where is it?" So she's looking for the application. She's like, "Okay, fill out another one. He's here, whatever." And who comes out walking like, "Hey, I'm about to call this vegan people right now." Yeah,
That's
Mark.
great.
So he was like, "I was just about to call you, like, just because I was on your
And he was ecstatic because
Yeah.
they didn't have those options
Yeah.
at the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
didn't have-
y'all were the first to open that up in this market.
That type of
food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Caribbean vegan.
Vegan food.
Yes, they
Yeah.
had other vegan, but not a full
Caribbean.
Caribbean
Yeah.
vegan
Yeah.
infused
Yeah.
spot like that.
Yeah. I'll show people again. This is only if you're in Fort Lauderdale, if you're in southern, southeast
like
Florida.
Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Yeah. But beautiful market. I mean, I'm just gonna flash through real quick, and there's all kinds of food. You'll see some fish and things, but there's
There's
but-
fruits and vegetables. People
but fruits
sell
and vegetables,
juices.
right?
Mhm. People
Herbs.
sell herbs,
Yeah.
tinctures.
Spices.
There's a show there. They have a band
Yeah,
every
this
weekend.
is one thing I
They
want to
have
say.
yoga there
a lot of
through the
people.
week. That's mommy of the market with
Yeah,
the big girl.
she's
She
amazing.
loves everyone.
And one thing I want
They'll
to
have themed margarita.
one thing I want to say too, a lot of people misconcept that just because there's a lot of meat people there, because again, South Florida, there's a big meat population down there, but there's a lot of hidden gems of vegans, and there's a Haitian vegan spot there. There is another American vegan spot there. There's actually a new place that just came, Mexican vegan spot, and then there's another lady that does like these great smoothies. She just got into there. So there's a lot of vegans there popped up, and of course the fruits and vegetables, you can't go wrong. That's vegan too.
That's vegan.
You know, we have to remember to say that always to people. And remember, I had a guy a couple weeks ago. Well, I'm not into vegan food. They said, and I said, "Do you eat apples?" Well, yeah. I said, "That's vegan."
That's vegan,
and I named like 5 things, and he was like, "Well, you know what I mean." I was like, "No, you need to change it.
Change your
The
mindset."
Yeah. But you're right. Go ahead.
It has a lot to do with what's being marketed out there when it comes to what vegan is. Instead of telling people vegan, because vegan became like this marketable name.
Yeah.
Instead of vegan, more if you tell people plants, then they will look at it different, because people don't necessarily know what that word vegan means, because it was a word that was created to represent the marketing behind plant-based food.
It's evolved. Yeah, it has.
It's evolved.
But yeah, some people are confused by
They
that.
have no idea. You tell them vegan, they don't know what it is. You know, because the name vegan was not the name. When I started
10 years ago,
plant-based,
they were plant-based, vegetarian.
Vegetarian. It was just, plants, like people that eat. It was mostly vegetarian. And then they took out vegetarian and kept the vegan, and the vegan name became the marketable name. Or it was veggie, veggie. That was one of the names,
Sure.
But then the marketable name that was chosen was vegan.
Yeah, I think the marketing came a little later, but because I was in a health food store in early 90s and stuff, but there was less. You're right, it was more vegetarian. Like any of the frozen products and stuff almost always had cheese, almost always different frozen burritos, stuff like that. And 10% of it maybe was vegan. It was really starting to, but yes, I was talking about marketing before you all came on, but once you get that, and I call it like the Gwyneth Paltrow Whole Foods side of thing, where everything's twice the price. Once you start getting the marketing, that's when it's like, oh man. But I like plant-based is my favorite word, because
that's my favorite word.
As you said, it short circuits the people who are critical of anything vegetarian or vegan. And it also, for new people, it explains it right there in the words.
Plant-based. Yeah, plant-based.
So I like that. And on that same yellow green. So yellow green market is on Instagram, folks. But look, they feature a page for you guys.
Yeah.
They have so they're saying please stop by this booth. Wow. So the cookbook is on your website. I put the website.
Yeah.
the
So
Instagram also I put on
Thank
the
you. Thank
website.
you.
Let me see if any questions, folks. Anyone have some direct questions for Tressie and Kirk? And I gotta check. I always forget to look at YouTube because I got people watching
Okay.
YouTube. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got a couple comments. Someone's saying, oh, there's Anthony watching different channels. So Wes says the restaurant's website is making me cry. I'm so, I'm so in a good way. He says I'm so hungry right now. It all looks so good. Then he
West
says,
Raga, come true, West too. Come true.
he says you're killing me with that food porn. And a good point about dairy, saying dairy is so pasteurized it doesn't even resemble food if you look on the molecular level. Wow. That's we could do a whole discussion just on processing.
Yeah.
man,
And
learning
it's
the
fun.
difference between refined and unrefined.
Refined, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the thing is, what I got into was reading the labels. The labels is very important for me, going through
Huge.
plant-based and then helping my health issues because, everything is on the label. Like when on the food, when they tell you, and then if you don't know, look it up because Google will tell you everything. That's why I tell people, Google everything. You understand? It will tell you what this means, what that means. Refined and unrefined and refined is a totally big difference when it comes to food.
Yeah.
And to the point is that, unrefined meanings, they're that it's the dense. It's the whole food itself with all of its natural nutritional minerals, right? And then refined means that something got taken out off of that, the whole food. So then some part of the minerals, some part of this was taken out to lighten it or to lighten the color or to do this, and then other things were put back in to make it look like it used to be. So, and that's why, labels are, very important when you're even going on a healthy journey with your eating and everything. Like, pay attention to labels because they mean a lot when it comes to if you're getting that nutritional dense food. Because a lot of times, even with vegan, I tell people like, read the labels, because if you cannot pronounce the word, if you've never seen it before, then that means it's not whole. It's not a natural part of the food. Eat the food in its whole natural sense, in its whole natural state. Because when it's broken down and other things get added on, then now it loses all of those nutritional values that it comes with and that your body is looking for. So even with vegan, we all eat junk food or whatever, whichever we all do, but you should have a nutritional dense. It's not a whole like an apple. If it's packaged food, read it and see, and then understand like what you're buying, because that has a lot to do with health also. Because you can be vegan and you're sick if you're eating a lot of refined foods and a lot of processed foods and stuff like that, because people make misconception in thinking that, oh yeah, I go vegan, I'll be fine, so I'm eating all this junk food. Like, it's no difference from eating fast food, if you're eating meat and fried food and stuff like that. It's the same thing. So, I teach people, like, don't get into the misconception of thinking, okay, if I go plant-based, I don't eat meat, but I'm eating, all of this junk food that, I'm gonna be healthy. No, you could get high cholesterol, blood pressure, and all that other stuff the same way. So
that's thank you. No, that's a constant message on my webcast. I'm always telling people it's about whole foods and not the store, but the concept. And no, I'm always telling people that and having worked in retail, natural foods retail, for over 15 years, I met thousands of young vegans. They come in and you're watching, and all they're buying is potato chips and different snacks without or hydrogenated oil, without colors, but it's still chips, or it's still sugar or cake, and they might only eat just tofu, and they're never diversifying other sources. So there's a lot to talk about. The funny part that happens, I'm sure you've seen this though, if a teenager goes vegan and it doesn't go well, everyone becomes an expert in their family. Like, see, it's because of that. Meanwhile, Uncle Joe has cholesterol. Auntie Jean has diabetes. The grandfather has this. Everyone has this, but but that 16-year-old is feeling a little tired, and everyone becomes an expert.
Like,
tell me about that. Tell me about that, Kirk. When you made this choice and you really said, "That's it, wash my hands."
From a Jamaican family, you really want me to tell you what to say?
Yeah, give us a little sample of what it. Because somebody must have said, I'm not feeling good, and my heart cholesterol is up. Maybe I'll do with Kirk. So tell us if both sides, if someone in your family, Kirk, said, let me do that, and also tell me maybe some pushback.
I'm gonna give you two ways, right? My little sister, she was actually vegan first in her family, right? But she was vegetarian. She had this little bunny, right? She loved this little bunny that she got. You know what I mean? So when I came here, I was doing all natural food. So I used to, when I go to New York, because my little sister, I'm gonna tease her. So I said to her, "Hey, Britt, that rabbit's gonna be rabbit stew today," because she trained vegetarian, so I used to just be messing with her, tormenting her.
Yeah.
But she was really anti-meat all the way from middle school all the way through to college. I think when she graduated college is when she started consuming back food, like meat again. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So then I asked her, I was like, "Why did you want him to go back into meat?" You know what I mean? And she was like, I was kind of missing just the texture, I guess, and all the flavors. And then at Christmas, everybody's enjoying oxtail, and I can't enjoy it. You know what I mean? So she wanted that feeling. So that was her journey a couple of years back. Now when I decided to go into it, right? And then I didn't tell anyone because I know my family is very, how can I put it? Caribbean. Okay, very judgmental Caribbean people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the number one thing is, you're sick, you have issues. What are going on with you? You're crazy? You know what I mean? The whole work. Oh, you moved out to Miami, now you're crazy. I was like, this is the whole thing. Because again, these are meat people. Caribbean people are meat people, even though they do a lot of vegetation. So when they saw, like, I'm 42 years old, right? 42 years old, I don't have any health issues. You know what I mean? Only thing I have is if I eat certain food. Milk, number one, I can't do no dairy, no form of dairy at all. I put that in my system and it comes out violently, okay? So dairy, no bueno. Then you have tofu. Tofu, I get bloated. Too much tofu bloat me up. So I know being a vegan, some people might be like, "Why I got this big belly?" Tofu, bro. Get away from tofu.
Yeah.
That really, exactly. It changed. They changed it a lot. So I think with my family, it's not any embrace, but they're okay with it at this point. Because again, and they always call like, okay, well, my nephew actually went vegan for a while. He went vegan for a while. So they were my sister-in-law. She called me for like recipes. Okay, Kirk, I need some recipes how to make this and this. So I would give her recipes. I'm like, "You don't vegan?" She's like, "Nah, Kirk, I ain't with that." Well, she bought the cookbook and she used it and she helped him to feed her son. Because you know what I mean? And then my sister, she actually just did like a 30-day challenge and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't do this." I like, "Buy my cookbook." So she bought my cookbook and then took her through a 30-day challenge. But as for everyone else, my mom too as well. She dabbled into it because every now and then she's like, "I'm on fast for 30 days. I'm gonna do the foolish vegan thing you're doing." Jamaican. Let's be real. So then, but it's more accepted now,
right,
than before.
Absolutely.
Right?
But by the same token, though, having spent quite a bit of time in Jamaica and in the grill, up in the north coast, I've been in Kingston. I lived there for probably a month. All of what you say is exactly true, and for me, I saw it when I was eating meat. Then I wasn't eating meat. And here's my other question for Jamaican people also: all of the Rastas are essentially what we would call in America pescatarian, right? They're complete vegetarian plus fish, and some of them 100%. So what are we missing here? Where so many Jamaican people, Caribbean people,
you have to remember that.
Do they just think, "Oh, well, they're smoking weed all day," so that
you have to remember that Rastafarian, really truthfully, if you look at Jamaica is a very Christian society.
Right.
Rastafarian is a new, let's say the last 60 years, Rasta been building up the
Okay.
religion and coming through. So a
Yeah.
lot of people didn't respect Rasta way of doing things. I mean, a lot of people will fight out against Rasta and be like, oh, Rastafarian, they don't know nothing, blah, blah, blah. The same mindset concept again, because again, very, very religious, meat
Right.
loving society. You understand? So now when a Rasta is eating pure, like my uncle is a Rastafarian, and he's a man who said nobody can cook for him. So he doesn't go to a restaurant. No one cook for him but himself because he doesn't eat no salt. He doesn't use no sugar. He doesn't use no refined anything. Fresh food, boil his dumpling, boil his banana, boil his yam. Then he make his aki and tofu or aki and saltfish or whatever him feel like consume, but no chicken, no meat, no nothing. You understand? And that man is about 80 something years old, and the man look young and fresh. Dreadlocks, I wish I could have here. That man dreadlocks is down to here. Matter of fact, back to the market.
Right.
But he's coming from a place where it wasn't accepted. The ratchet religion wasn't accepted. And it's now literally starting to get a little bit of mainstream. It's still not fully 100% accepted into the islands. A lot of people always think, well, Jamaicans are Rastafarian, so why? No, technically, Jamaicans, Rastafarian are still a new religion.
Interesting.
Define itself fully yet, where people are fully, embracing it. It's just now because of Bob Marley. Everybody's thinking that's what a Rastafari is.
Sure.
But it's a different factors.
Which
you understand?
Which is
Wasn't it
Ethiopian, Alice Selassie, but then there's different factions of Rastas. Like some of them do eat chicken, right? Some of them eat fish. Some of them are vegan. You know what I mean? Some of them are straight fruitarian. You understand? Some of them don't believe that women should cook in the kitchen. There's different levels of Rastafarian. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you have to understand that the culture still is a brand new one, and it's still developing its stage, and you know what I mean, but it's still accepted worldwide. But Jamaica, it's not accepted as I would love it to see, because Rastas are the best. I mean, I'm a Rasta, but I just can't grow the Ras.
Yeah. No, it's a spiritual.
Actually,
I guess.
Yeah.
No, this is great, and what I'm learning is how. Because when I went to Jamaica, I was smoking weed. I wanted to hang out with the Rastas.
Mm-hmm.
I loved reggae. I grew up with reggae, and you're teaching me that I think I didn't consider how marginalized they are to a Christian society, basically.
Yeah. Rasta used to get stoned. They used to get stoned in the public. They used to get
stoned all the time.
And they do get stoned all the time. But
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? So it's
You mean I know what you mean, Kirk.
Yeah,
They're throwing rocks. I didn't realize that, and that's a whole other discussion. Christianity, how it was put through slavery, through imperialism, through colonialism. So, we end up with this.
It's a lot with this kind of mixed up thing where, to me, is this, right? I don't knock anybody for doing what you want to do. You want to eat meat, that's your business. If you want to eat vegetables, that's your business. Understand? But my ultimate thing when it comes down to Christianity is that Christianity, it teaches that you need to be, good to your brother man, fair to your brother man, but at the same time you eat animals. So technically you kind of hypocrite. If you're eating animals, you're supposed to be fair to your brother man and everybody. But again, Christian, don't come for me. I'm just talking. You understand?
It's your opinion.
Just my opinion. But
no, you're right. You're right, and it is a choice, but there's some hypocrisy in that. That death that's there. So, Tressie, how about you with family stuff? What were the pros and cons when family members found out? Did you inspire anyone, or did someone say, I'm not eating that?
In the beginning, it was, what's wrong with you? You're so skinny. Like my mom, meat not going to kill you. What you think is going to kill you? I've been feeding you meat since you was a child, and all of a sudden, now you don't eat meat. I said, Mom. And it's, I'm learning as I go, because my culture, we, we eat meat, it's a part of our meals. So in the beginning, it's not where I didn't have the research that I have today, where I can explain to my parents and my family, like, why, it was more on a I'll say like a study that I was doing on myself to see like what eating mostly plants would do for me, because that's what it was. It was to heal myself. So after I do my study and my research on myself, that's when I can have, a full like what they call it, like a full plan on
right
how to approach it,
on how to approach it and how to answer the questions. But in the beginning, I didn't know. I was like, I'm just doing it because I want to do it. That's how it was. And then eventually, as I learned, I would tell. And then my dad actually was the only one was like, yeah, plants are good for you. Because in Haiti, my dad, when we sick, he would go in the bushes, get some plants, make some medicine, and then give, for them to drink and eat and stuff like that. So that whole medicinal part of using plants for healing, my grandfather, which is my dad's father, that's what my dad said he did, So my dad he was more open to the concept, like, and he would tell me, okay, yes, and then he would actually research. Not my dad. It's like everything. He'll call me one day. He's like, Jesse, purple onion is good for the kidney. And then my dad, like, fast forward, and then my mom, she hates vegetables, but she eats them because she knows that it has healing purposes in there. So for her, and she has high blood pressure, and
there you go.
That part, and that's the thing. So over the years of of going through this experience and implementing it into my lifestyle, and my parents and my family seeing that, from example, that's how it was able to impact them, like in the future, like that. But in the beginning, it was more like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
sure, no, it's
now we got to make vegetable food for Tressie on on Christmas. That's what it was. Oh, Tressie, when we go to your house, all we see is trees and grass and this. We got to come with our own food to your house. That's what it was. But now it's a totally different thing. Like we did things. Like I did. Was it Christmas dinner, the whole thing was plant-based. I did the whole thing plant-based. And everybody ate it like they was having fried chicken on a Friday. I'm telling you, like,
I love it.
Like they was having veal and pickle leaves. It was crazy. Like, when I tell you everybody ate it, like I have 10 brothers. And like all of them was there. And everything was plant-based on that table.
Wow.
The macaroni and cheese was plant-based. The rice was plant-based. The sides were plant-based. I think I did about 10 dishes plant-based for them for Christmas.
And all of it.
They ate all of it. I did like a cauliflower wing thing for them because I know they like chicken wings and stuff, but it was plant-based, and one of my brothers, he kept eating it for like 2 or 3 days after. He's like,
That's great.
I took it for lunch.
That's great. Well, the funny part, and you said the exact phrase, I remind people, when we think of side dishes, whether it's Italian, Indonesian, Chilean, from Mali, from Ireland, if it's side dishes, guess what? It's usually a vegetable. Usually, right? And I always tell people, like they think it's so hard to do what we're doing, but if you look around the big meat in the middle, and so that's beautiful. And my 2 sisters I have, and they're both vegetarian. I forget, one might be pescatarian right now, but either way, I've been lucky in that. And my late parents were pescatarian. They really embraced it, and my mom would. Well, in Guyana they have a thing called jerk. Not jerk. They have garlic pork. You've heard of that, garlic pork? It's funny. It's funny. It's very Guyanese and it's Portuguese. So we had colonists. We had the Dutch kick our ass, the English kick our ass, the Portuguese, because Brazil is right there. So it's Guyana's got some brutal stuff because of where we were. But and what's interesting to me, and maybe someone smarter than me might have written a book, but everything we're talking about would be a great book of the history of colonialism, slavery, imperialism. And we're in a funny time where people don't want to talk about that. Oh, we don't want to be
It's
upset.
crazy.
Too bad. It's history.
Yeah. It's
But
history, man.
it's history. But one of the interesting parts of that history is how all these foods came around the world. I mean, even if you look at like you look at the banh mi, the sandwich from Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
That's a piece of French bread.
Yeah.
Because the French
came in.
they were colonizing. So you
Yeah.
had a French baguette. You have this French kind of mayonnaise sort of stuff. That's not from Indonesia. But what is from Indonesia is the peppers, the cilantro, the spice.
Yeah.
So I love the banh mi is incredible because I'm not saying it was a good time for everyone, but I'm saying humans are incredible because we bring and we adopt.
We're adaptive. Yeah, we're adaptive, you know?
Yeah.
Very.
But
I mean,
but the garlic pork thing, real quick, it's a Portuguese sort of thing where you get for Christmas you get a big glass jar or stone crock jar, fill it with vinegar, and maybe 3 inches of garlic at the bottom. A lot of garlic, just garlic. So it's soaking, chopped up. Thyme, what we call fine leaf thyme, right? And salt and pepper and some chili and different, some spices. Chop up the pork in little chunks, and you soak it in this brine. It's essentially brine for a few days, so it completely starts breaking down from the vinegar. To Tressy's point, and this is something I want to remind people always. To Tressy's point, and I know Kirk has said this too. How did you make the dead animal taste good? Putting a lot of plants in the picture. Hello, everything else. So it's very funny.
We make plants that taste good.
That's it.
That's our
But you get that on Christmas morning. You fry it up, and I ate it. It was tasty. My sister now makes a vegan one with seitan.
Yeah.
To get that chewy kind of.
That was the first meat that I had to experiment with. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you have that. I want to close with also this kind of thing of the global thing and how it's good to hear that people in your family did taste and embrace some stuff because I think we're seeing in I was in South America on tour in October, incredible amount of plant-based. I ate two different vegan restaurants in Brazil. Every morning in the hotel there was so much plant-based. I had vegan food in Peru, incredible amounts.
Oh yeah, I can see Peru.
Yeah, but because some of the same reasons I'm seeing when I Google, because I'm always looking. There's all these vegan and plant-based places, and they're using both phrases now in Costa Rica, in Jamaica, Barbados. If you look, folks, if you Google, you open your mind that it's happening. And what I'm excited about there is it's moved from being a trendy thing from San Francisco and Brooklyn and kind of an American thing. And I love that black and brown people, Latina people are Africa. My guy that I interviewed from Nigeria. I love that for that part of the world, we're realizing, wait a minute, this is not for rich people. In fact, we got mangoes falling off the tree. We got akis falling off the tree. We can actually be creative with stuff that's dirt cheap. So there's a woman in New York. I want to know if you probably know about her. A Black Rican vegan, you know her?
Yeah. I follow her.
Wow.
Yeah, she's good.
Check this out, folks. If anyone who has not, she's black, she's Puerto Rican, and she's vegan, hence the name.
Yeah.
She has a food truck. Look at some of this.
Look at the
lines around the block.
Yeah.
Some TV show did a thing on her. Look at some of that. Like, that's my jam right there. Like anything
that's
got
it's crazy. I'm sorry to cut you on.
No, go ahead.
New York right now is giving I think grants to have the school children have one vegan option at the week.
No,
it's part of the budget. It's part of the budget. Yeah, the mayor.
Eric?
Eric, because he's
pescatarian. Yeah.
He's vegan now.
Yeah.
So he went vegan. Great.
Yeah, this year. Yeah.
He went vegan, and he put in part of the budget for the public school that they're gonna have one plant-based meal a week.
Yeah.
That's great. But I didn't see this. I just pulled it up. Wait a minute, she's sneaking into your area. You better.
No, Carib Vegan is another vegan that's from Canada.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm kidding. Of course, we're all in it
Nah,
together.
listen, I want people to, because it's easier when more people experience our stuff. So then, therefore, we just, oh yeah, remember I made that one year.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I love
Oh
that.
yeah, that was good.
Mofongo?
Mofongo, yeah.
Oh, I love mofongo.
But this is, I'm just showing them as a counterpart to what
Mhm.
y'all
She's
are doing.
where?
Yeah.
Well, she's in New York.
She's in New York.
Yo,
But I-
I'm
but
going
I-
to New York. I'm going to her
I know,
restaurant.
but I think she's in New York. But she thinks, one more I want to show folks. Again, I love the hybrid aspect of you all because it's
Yeah.
Jamaican, it's Haitian, it's Dominican, mostly
Yeah.
Jamaican, of course. How about
Mostly.
this? What's this? This is your tacos. Made of,
My tacos, yeah.
what's
Made
that
of-
inside?
The king mushroom, walnut meat.
Corn, roasted corn, purple sauce, pineapple salsa, avocado, the jerk sauce,
Mhm.
and then the cashew cream, and then the vegan cheese.
Mhm.
Look at that, folks.
And this is me making.
You know,
video.
no, well, guys, we're gonna wrap up, but I want to thank you for taking your time on a weekday.
You should saw the Aki Rasta pasta.
I will. Let's see. And the videos are fun. I mean, you guys look like you're having a lot of fun. There's music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Look at
videos are fun.
Fresh
The Aki
onions.
Rasta pasta is the other one. Let's go down.
There you go.
Did I-
No, you passed it. Go up some more.
This couple of it.
No,
This one?
Not that one. No. Go down. No, not
Oh,
that
that's the
the
macaroni and
mix.
cheese.
Yeah.
one. That one right there.
Mhm.
I think that's the.
Yeah,
That
that's
one?
accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Aki Rasta pasta.
That's great.
It's a mixture of rice and peas. Make sure your rice is Shelly. On that note,
That's beautiful. Well, when I was in my teens, I used to read High Times magazine,
Mhm.
and there was a chef, a Rasta chef, and he would always put some ingredients. Everything had weed, So
yeah,
Chef Ra, that was his name, Chef Ra.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Fusion, little fusion.
Chef Ra.
Yeah.
But well, thank you so much, y'all, for doing this, and I want to wish you continued success and keep expanding, and
Thank you.
and next time, anytime in the area, definitely gonna come and have some of your amazing food.
Thank
But,
you. Thank you.
Yeah. So all right, well, folks, you know where to find them, and even if it's long distance, order some of the
Some
jerk
sauce,
sauce,
some shirt.
order some
Sure.
shirts, get the book. It's
Get
all
the
on the
cookbook.
website.
Yes.
Yes.
It's on the
And
website.
follow us on YouTube.
On
Yes.
Instagram.
And
No,
Instagram.
YouTube. I'm building. Instagram
Okay,
right
Instagram
now. Then
now.
I'm send you over to our YouTube.
Okay, and tell me when it's the YouTube, and I'll announce it here also.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And thank you.
All right, thanks, y'all. We'll see everyone.
you.
Thanks for stopping by. See you next week.
All right, Andrew. Thank you.